What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor. And yes, Tesla has delivered more than expected. This is a great news. Of course, we're seeing the skew coming back into having more of the deliveries, of course, being the Model 3 and Model Ys, which again, we all have known about. They're not selling the S's and the X's as much due to the fact that the cost and really transforming and really showing that they are the powerhouse in that lower end market in the sense of, again, this is not the same Tesla that was 10 years ago when they were just selling the very first model, which was like, I believe 150 plus, and it was very like a small compact car. It wasn't even really their design. I think they had like not stole, but they licensed the Lotus kind of a lease, I think it's called. I'm not a car guy at all, if you don't know that. That being said, that model was very slim model. It cost a lot, but again, the overall process of how Tesla has acquired and really come this far was like, hey, we're starting with this high-end market, develop the technology. The overall long-term goal is to have an affordable car that most Americans can afford, most of the world can afford, and we're seeing that really play out. They are sticking to their promises, the plan, the whatever you want to call it. So between the Model 3 and Model Y vehicles, those have been selling like hotcakes. Really, again, that's 89% of those models that are sold. We're talking about nearly 124,000 of those in Q3 of 2020. Really nice number. We're still looking for expectations to try to get above that 500,000 vehicles a year. That's going to be very a mindful goal. So Elon Musk is going back and forth looking for deliveries anywhere from 477,000 to around 515 in 2020. So that kind of ranges within that 500,000 cars a year. That's pretty substantial amount of cars. And again, the cars are not really just sitting around. They're pretty much sold very much. So they're saying, where was it? They sold and delivered. So I like the word they delivered, meaning that you went online, you ordered the car, it came to you, and we gave you the keys. Tesla gave you the keys or the key fob, and bada bing, that's a delivery. They produced about 6,000 more than they actually delivered in the quarter. So we're not talking like there's like 50,000 cars parked in a parking lot just collecting dust. These cars are being sold, so that is a very good sign on my behalf. And if you don't know already, I am a pretty long Tesla stock, so I know that this does come no surprise to some people, but just want to fully disclose that going out there. So let's gotta go ahead and look over the charts here. We're gonna go. I don't know. I have Netflix up. Wrong chart. We're gonna look at Tesla. So I want to kind of do this new process. We're gonna be calling it the naked chart. So this is the naked 1 day chart, fully exposing the overall flaws or whatever of Tesla. So looking here at the chart, you're seeing some very interesting patterns coming out here. We've had that huge run higher, and now we're in that wonderful kangaroo market that people hate and love it, depending on who you are talk to. But we're seeing some really defined lines coming through here. So the defined lines that are really kind of coming in through is around that 350 to 360 level to the downside, and then to the upside, we're seeing some overhead resistance coming in around 460. So again, once we this is the naked looking chart. So once we start adding our tools, our various other technical analysis that we use here, you can see that it's really kind of coming into why that's happening here. So what's so significant on those movements to the downside there? Oh wait, that's where the 50 SMA is coming in. That's where the parabolic SAR dots have coming in for support. And at the same time, when we do this Fibonacci retracement from the previous swing high to the previous swing low, guess what? That's kind of bouncing around that 78.6 percentile move and kind of not really getting the momentum and breakthrough power that we want to see it kind of break through that 435 limit there. So if we wanted to see a break above that 435 limit, which we've kind of hit multiple times, and really get up above that 460, 465 plus, we really need to start seeing some more less of the sell-off. Again, we had not a sell-off, I'm doing air quotes, more of a surprise oopsies in the morning. We can kind of look here on SPY and what happened with President Trump and his wife getting the old Rona, being testing positive for it. That being said, we can kind of look here on the naked chart here on a 1 minute on really what kind of happened. Again, it was just a lot of chop today, like just kind of bounced around, kind of did whatever. We did kind of feel like maybe some people were thinking it was going to fall out of the sky, but as we talk about, there's that 12:30 bid that we talk about that really kind of came through. 12 o'clock bid that came through. And really just again, we really didn't do much of anything. But if you look from the previous day, we did come down a little bit. We're down overall about 1%. So this is nothing absolutely insane or crazy to be fearful of, but just be mindful of like, hey, Tesla still in an overall trend. So if we go here back to the naked chart, we want to go to the weekly side on the naked chart. So we go to 3-year chart here. You can kind of see here, Tesla has been in this base for years, and now it's finally breaking out. Why is it breaking out? Because of what we just talked about towards the beginning of the video, that Model 3 and Model Y are really expanding. Again, we know that they're opening up that factory in Berlin. We know that they're working also as well in Texas, in Austin, Texas, and then in outside of Berlin and Germany. We know that the Shanghai factory is doing fantastic. We know we had a little oopsies whoopsies in the overall market with California, with them just closing their factory down for a little bit, but now that production and has been very going full steam ahead there. But again, looking here at the chart, there's just some chop we're currently looking at. So once we switch over here to the weekly side here with all our technical analysis here, what does this come into? We're still above that 8 EMA. So 8 EMA is going to be around that 394 for the support to the downside on the weekly side. And then even down to, again, what we're looking for, if it does come down for whatever reason, like, again, I have no crystal ball here. I am just playing on what the trading gods give us. We're riding the waves. We just don't know what could happen. We just need to know. We just need to have a plan and get ready for action if something does come our way or against us. So you just need to know the levels and kind of play it from the ear from that. That being said, looking for that downside support around 350. Initially looking for initial support between 400 to 395 and that level there. But that being said, if we can kind of hold steady here, get through this kangaroo market, potentially. I'm saying this without trying to laugh. Get no issues with the election, which I really hope the best for that. But if that trend can continue, we're looking for, again, above 500 to around 550. So with that being said, we can go over and switch to the Tastyworks account, which is what I use to trade. If you're interested in an opening account, there's a link down below. I believe you can hit up support. They're still doing a 10 free stocks or 100 free shares of stock or 10 contracts depending on how much you deposit into your account. That being said, looking here at the Tastyworks account, looking at the Tesla on some options activity here, we're seeing some options activity coming up all the way out in January 2021. So that's January 15th. You can see up here on the very top here, we're seeing that options volume coming in at the $500 strike price for about 1.2 so 1,200 ish volume coming in today. It's pretty substantial. Again, these are not cheap options here. This is most likely potentially people hedging their bets, meaning like, so if they had 10,000 or 100,000 shares of stock, they could be doing covered calls, maybe collecting some premium. It's a little bit further out than I think most people do for covered calls. But that being said, that could be a strategy. And again, it's within its, this was the reason I love Tastyworks. So Tastyworks has this really beautiful orange bar here. So it's not the prettiest color, but it really helps out here. That is the expected move. So what is the expected move? You can kind of see here on the top here, plus or minus $150 where we're currently at. So that's all the way up, nearly up to a little bit around $550 there, and all the way to the downside around 272. That's a little bit further to the downside more than expected. That being said, that is within that deviation move. That one deviation move is looking for way away. So we can look at that chart here. Once we go pan over to this chart here on the daily side, these little bars here is the channels for the standard deviation. So again, that also kind of comes into once we get a large move to the upside, we're hitting that one deviation and not really being able to really break through that like we have in the past, that really monstrous runs that we've seen. With those large runs that we have seen in the past that really had that breakout movement, we're just getting a lot of chop here. So the best way to look at chop is basically looking at this trend here. So this is basically the trend. So blue means going higher, red means going lower, and white means like WTF, what's going on here? I don't know what to do. And that we're seeing a lot of white candles. So that's really, again, really shows that market is in chop, especially Tesla as well. But Tesla is still doing well fundamentally. Like they're expanding, they're coming across their promises. Yes, people got a little too hyped up on battery day, but that's totally that's whatever. That's that's their own fault, honestly. But everything looks very fine at Tesla. That being said, please don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Don't forget, we have a fantastic live stream this Sunday at 9 p.m. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.